Okay, so I'm going to try to explain to you how this works so you can understand it. So basically, any percentage, if you take a percentage like 25%, that's the same thing as 25 over 100. So that is converting a percentage into a fraction. Then of course you just reduce that down. So that's going to be 1/4. So to go from a percentage to a fraction, you just divide by 100. To go from a fraction to a percentage, so let's say we take 1/5, we want to turn that into a percentage, we just multiply by 100. So we do the exact opposite. So to go from a percentage to a fraction, we divide by 100. To go from a fraction to a percentage, we multiply by 100. So, equals 1 times 100 is 100, 5 times 1 is 5, 100 divided by 5 is 20%. Okay, so to go from a percentage to a fraction, divide by 100. To go from a fraction to a percentage, multiply by 100. Okay, and then for ratio, if we have a 1 out of 2 that is active, that means there's another 1 out of 2 that's inactive. So that's a ratio of 1 to 1. If I have a 1 out of 3 that's active, that means I have 2 out of 3 that's inactive. So my ratio is 1 to 2. In other words, we have 3 total parts. 1 is active, 2 is inactive, 1 to 2. Okay? So if I take a ratio of 1 to 4, that means I have 5 total parts. So 4 inactive, 1 active. So I just take 5 and I make that my denominator. So 5 total is now my denominator. So that's a 1/5 fraction. So if I take a 1 to 4 ratio, we just add those together, make that our denominator, and put it under the first number. Okay, so that's all we really have to do to convert those fractions to ratios and to percentages. And then to get a total amount, let's say we have a 1/4 fraction and we have a total amount of 600, okay? So if 1/4 of it is active, then all we have to do is figure out what's 1/4 of 600. So we just take 600 times 1/4 to figure out what's 1/4 of 600. So 600 times 1 is 600 divided by 4, and my calculator is being used as a phone right now, so I'll try to do this in my head. So 600 divided by 4, so that'd be, I think, 150. 150 active. 150 mLs is active because 1/4 of it is active. So 600 times 1/4, 1/4 of 600 is 150. And then if we have 600 total and we take 600 minus the 150 we already put in, that gives us 450 mLs inactive because that's the remaining amount that's inactive. Okay, so we just take, to get the active ingredient, we take the total amount times the fraction, and that gives us the active ingredient. And then to get the inactive, we take the total amount minus the amount we already put in. That gets us the inactive. Hopefully that'll help.